All right. Are you a fuckboy? I want to start this off by saying that I have recently decided that I will no longer date fuckboys. So really, this is a presentation for me. This is to help you self-identify if you are a fuckboy, so I don't have to come across you guys later on Tinder tonight, because that will 100% happen because I am fucking drunk right now. I want to take that it takes 3.5 drinks to make me drunk. So, let's begin. I also want to say that this conversation right here has happened to me. This is a legit conversation that I have had on Tinder with a fuckboy. If you feel the need to read it, go for it. I'm going to hit fast forward because I've been through this. So, let's see if I can hit the button. Which button is it? To the right. Okay. All right. So here's a fuckboy definition. The first definition that most people know is a person who initiates conversation with one end goal in mind, who disappears after they get what they want. Now, I want to reiterate here that there is another definition that is a man who is lame, who's sex, who is not shit. Now, this is basically the equivalent of a basic bitch, but in the man form. I want to explain that the word fuckboy has been taken from hip-hop. It was originally created by a hip-hop rapper named Cam Run, who used it to describe the second definition I put up here. But we're going to focus on this first definition right here, because this is the definition that white women have taken to mean. Now, there are two forms of a fuckboy here. The first definition is fuckboy with a Y, who is a clean-cut man here that you see, who is dressed nice, who's hot, who is unself-aware, but also loves Quentin Tarantino movies. The second definition is fuckboy with an I, who is someone who loves to talk about how much they are into Nike and Adidas. Yes. And they make you feel like you are someone special that they want to be with, but they're choosing you from any other person. Okay, now, when you come across a fuckboy, there are 3 key differences. There is a fuckboy who has a fish in their profile on Tinder. There's a fuckboy who has a gun in their profile on Tinder. There is also a fuckboy with a tiger on Tinder. And there is a fuckboy on Tinder who has a shirtless mirror selfie but shows like a little bit of dick. Now for me, if I come across any of these dudes, it's an automatic swipe left. But if they are really, really, really hot, that is the exception to the rule. Now, I really want to stress that there are different forms of a fuckboy. Much like I showed in the definition earlier, there are different spellings of a fuckboy, and there's so many different flavors of fuckboy, you just can't tell. So, if you come across a fuckboy with the spelling, this is not showing up correctly, but there should be a definition of a fuckboy that spells Fuckboy. That definition of a fuckboy is your average fuckboy. In that definition, you will see that there are dressed really nice and they're hot, right? If you come across a fuckboy with an F-U-B-O-I, they are dressed to the latest fashion, they're hot, and they're just totally unaware. I'm very drunk at this point, so this is going wrong. I swear to God I prepared for this. Let's just move on to the slide that you're seeing right in front of you here. Okay. So the second thing is if you come across somebody who instigates a first message but doesn't try any harder than that, and their person is doing the rest of the things, you come across a fuckboy who doesn't give any shits. This was really prepared before. Oh my God, I'm so drunk right now. This is weird because I'm usually way better at this. Anyway. 3 drinks is all it takes, apparently, for me. This is really depressing. I'm not even the camera line. Okay. I had all of this stuff prepared. Okay, let's go from this. If you come across a fuckboy like this, you are in the category of they do not give a shit about you. So, here you see this message right here, right? It's really nice and lovely, isn't it? I spent a lot of time making it, so you better fucking like it. Anyway, so you're in this category where they start to care, right? And then something happens after the first date, you know, communication drops after they get something from you, like sex. And then you start to hit this weird lull right here where they just disappear. Bringing us to our next slide that I worked so hard on. Okay, if you look really hard, let's see if this works. If you look really hard in this area right here, this is like any normal relationship besides a fuckboy, you know? Everything's going great, you know? You're texting all the time, you're seeing each other, you know? There's some sort of PDA going on. You're definitely having sex, most likely not in public. Yep, that happened. But as you can see right here, there's this lovely lull happening. God, I prepared so much for this. There's this lovely lull happening where our little ghost buddy is. And that's because you're being ghosted. The reason why you're being ghosted is because they're cutting all communication from you because they don't care. Much like what happens to me in regular life. Yeah, it's an awe moment right there for sure. 3 whiskeys and all it takes is me to break down. All right, so this ghost right here, you see, they've cut off all communications and you're left being like, what the fuck happened? But don't worry, because much like the water cycle, this will repeat itself. And you see right here, this lovely right here, you reach this point where they will come back eventually. And, you know, you get the occasional "you up" text. Okay, I fucked this up. But if you answer yes to all 3 of these questions, being what we talked about earlier, congrats, you're a fuckboy. Yay! I didn't say this earlier, but ladies can also be a fuckboy. Don't worry, you're not excluded from this. You're still called a fuckboy, but you are 100% also a fuckboy. So, if you're a fuckboy, it's okay though. There's a couple options for you. You can either embrace your fuckboyness and let people know in your bios or when you're meeting them that, hey, I'm a fuckboy, just so you know. And it's giving you that option to let them know efficiently that you are a fuckboy. Or you can embrace the fact that you are a fuckboy and decide to become a reform fuckboy and, take steps to recover from that. And the first step to that is answering your fucking text messages. All right, guys. I am very drunk, and this is not how I planned it, but thank you.